Thank you all for being here. This is a special one because I actually haven't really gotten to chat with Saverino much. This will be
Yeah,
good to like get to know you a little bit more and learn more about your experience with T1D.
of course. Yeah, all my previous interactions have been with mainly just the charities that we've done in the past, which I've done a
Yeah.
few. I still have,
Yes.
as I said, we talked about before the podcast, I have a little sticker on my microphone,
Pancreas
which,
gay. It's like
yeah, it's been
vintage
there for a
now.
while. It
Yeah.
is, it is.
Well, for Chad and for everybody here, I know it's a lot of your community right now, which is epic. Um, do you mind just sharing a little bit about yourself, telling us your origin story?
Sure. Let's go all the way back to the beginning
I
because
love it.
I bet
I
some of my
love the
chat won't even
hands
know all
too.
of
I
this.
love the
Yes,
hands.
of
Yeah.
course. Yeah, because I'm a yapper at heart, so it's what I do best. But where do we start with things? My name's Evan, also Saverino, which is my last name, but also my username because it's a pretty cool last name, so I'd run with
It
it.
is a cool last name.
I initially went by UV Blacklight. That was my original name, mainly for no reason whatsoever. I used to go by a bunch of different names online because I went
Yeah.
by on Xbox, I went by Aglotic, and then I went to Savarino eventually. And then I was like, oh, the word Blacklight's so cool. I want to change it up. Let's be Blacklight. And then it was already taken, so I put UV in front of it. I tried like Blacklight underscore UV, Blacklight, like, and then like a few numbers. Eventually,
Yeah.
I just stumbled across the UV Blacklight name
Hey,
and just
I'm
yeah,
surprised it wasn't taken yet. That's what's
I
shocking to
know
me.
because that's also a cool name.
Yeah.
That's pretty solid.
Uh,
And I got into content creation mainly because when I was younger, I used to be obsessed with YouTubers. That was one of my big things. I did a bunch of like I did things other than YouTube. My parents put me into like every sport under the sun,
mhm.
but eventually I there was the one thing that I was always hyper focused on was YouTube. I watched Tobuscus, which like I don't know what he's often doing now, but I used to watch Smosh. I know they're still around.
Wow. Yeah.
And yeah, and I wanted to run a channel of my own one day. And I was gonna start by making videos. There's actually, if you go to my channel and go all the way back like 4 years. Hi, Austin. I see you in chat. It's one of my
Mhm.
buddies. If you go back all the way back like 4 years, I had like a few meme edits on my channel. They're not exactly that good looking. In fact, people still comment on them to this day, unfortunately. They're horrifying. But eventually I was like, editing sucks. This takes a lot of time. And so I started live streaming. And I did it for like 3 years. I started live streaming the day before 2020, which
Really?
yeah, I that might be the greatest time ever to have started streaming because
Yes.
I didn't exactly predict it, but we all got stuck inside after that
Yes.
3 months later. So I had a captive audience and it springboarded me into making content. And now I do YouTube videos again. I
Yes,
finally
you
moved back to
do.
editing.
I saw that. Super exciting. Um, do you mind sharing your experience with type 1 diabetes?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
I can actually. So, funny enough, the story gets to that because I was not someone who was born with type 1 or
Hmm.
got it early on in my life as a diagnosis. I
Yeah.
was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes around 2022. That's when that
So
all came.
recent. Yes.
Very recent.
Really kind
I
of still happening for you.
Yes, I'm still learning. I
Yeah.
still have to like check my blood sugar. I have a like a monitor with a little band-aid on it in my arm,
Hmm.
but I don't use a pump yet. I like the pens. But I started with the diagnosis in 2022 and I was freshly in college. Not really. It was freshly in person in college.
Yeah.
And I honestly in a more serious light, when I was first diagnosed with it, when I went to the doctor and I got a blood test because
Mhm.
I had a bunch of weird symptoms. I dropped like 70 pounds in a year.
In a
Like I was,
year. Oh my
yeah, I was
gosh.
literally deteriorating.
Hmm.
And so I went and got a blood test and they're like, hey, after fasting for 12 hours, your blood sugar is like 386. And they're like, "You have diabetes." And I actually said nothing. I said I was dead silent
Yeah.
for the whole end of that visit and the ride home because I didn't
Oh my
exactly know how
God.
to come to terms with it. Because
Right.
I didn't know anything about diabetes. The only thing I did know was I had a friend when I was younger who was born with diabetes. He had type 1 as a kid. And so I knew like blood's involved and it kind of sucks because needles have to happen and it is a it inhibits upon just being able to eat normally all the time sometimes and so I was horrified but over time I managed to kind of work on managing myself and how to deal with not having a working pancreas
Yeah.
because if anything I say this sometimes I think getting diabetes kind of saved me because I I love food. I eat a lot of food. And so if I didn't have diabetes, I'm pretty sure I would have no limit on me eating. So
What
I'm
you're
very
eating,
glad that I
yeah.
have something. Yeah. It like what keeps
That
me
is
in
one
check.
way
I'm
to
like,
look at it. Yeah.
yeah, I see that as a positive where it's like
Yeah.
at least I'm not unhealthy.
Right.
I'll take it. Gives me a
Yeah.
reason to manage myself.
I think too, like a common misconception too is that you can't eat anything when you have diabetes,
Mm,
anything with sugar, anything with that. I saw someone was like, he eats Oreos on stream all the time.
not
Uh,
all the time. I did bring Oreos on recently because I had to make a point that
yeah.
the Halloween Oreos. Do you know the
Oh,
Halloween
yes,
Oreos,
with
the
the
orange ones?
orange. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. So I've heard these erroneous claims. That's not a word, I think, but
Erroneous is a word.
it is. I said that right.
Yes,
Okay,
you
good.
said it right.
So these erroneous claims that the orange Oreo tastes exactly the same as the white Oreo,
Well,
which
it
I
doesn't.
say is untrue. Exactly.
Yeah.
I'd say it's untrue. The orange Oreo is
Is it
in
supposed to
my
taste the
opinion, the
same?
best Oreo.
I
I've
guess I don't
heard that
know.
it's literally just food coloring,
I
but I
guess that makes
disagree.
sense.
I think it's a different consistency. I think it tastes different,
Hmm.
but people, they're just gaslighting me, I feel. That's what I stand by.
Interesting. I have not considered that at all. Now I'm gonna be thinking about that a lot.
I know. And Oreos are also I love them because they're like one of the few things that I know the exact amount of insulin I have to dose per
Yes,
how many Oreos I eat. So it's like there's certain
absolutely.
things I like lock in like that.
What else besides Oreos?
Simple things like the bags of Doritos, I kind of
Mm,
just know the amount of insulin I need to dose.
right.
What else is there? There's like Doritos, like little things of goldfish and Cheez-Its I love because you can have a lot more of those for less carbs.
Yep.
I like doing the math with that. That's like goldfish. I looked at it one time. It's like 16 grams of carbs, which is like the same that a bag of Doritos would be, is like 32 or 48 goldfish. I'm like,
Wow.
well, just do the math. You can just enjoy goldfish all you want.
I guess that's a great kind of segue to talking about your experience with type 1 and how you manage it. I mean, we're talking about food and drink. What kind of tools have you used as you've gotten, I mean, it's what, you're over 2 years now, about 2 years
Yeah, probably
diagnosed?
over 2 years, I'd say.
What has worked
Um,
best for you, like managing it and keeping control of
so
everything?
worked best for me. As I showed earlier, I have
Yeah.
a little
And that's
Libre,
your
which I
Libre,
think
and you have like
it's a
a
Libre
taper on
3.
it, right? To help keep
Yeah,
it.
it's a bandage made for
Yeah.
Libres that you
Yeah.
can use to just like keep it
That's
on there.
nice. Yeah.
It's very nice because my first few months with Libres, I knocked off probably like
Oh my God. Yeah.
too many. Like
That's gotta be so painful.
it's not even painful
It's
because the thing
not?
is, half the time I just hear the sound of like a ripping sound, and I look over and it's hanging off, and I'm like,
Do you feel it?
ah,
You don't feel it come out?
I don't actually.
Oh, you're just like used to it?
It's for some reason the only thing I don't like is the installing it, putting it in,
Yeah.
because needles are just,
It's
despite
not fun
being a
for anybody.
diabetic, needles are
Yeah.
horrifying. So I started with Libre, although
Mhm.
I started with the finger pricking, which
Yeah.
I hated. I very much didn't like. And I know that it is a thing that a lot of people do. I know people within my family, like I have someone in my like distant family who has diabetes as well, and
Oh,
he
wow.
pricks
Yeah.
his finger to this day, all the time. He just whenever he
Wow.
wants to.
Sometimes when you get
And
into it, you're just, I'm gonna keep doing
yeah,
what I'm used to. Yeah. Yeah.
I admire his bravery because I don't know what it is about putting a needle into my finger, but I
Oh.
like start shaking. I just don't like
Mm-mm.
it. It makes me very unhappy. And so I
No.
immediately I needed to get a glucose monitor, a continuous glucose monitor. And I did this, and then eventually I tried out Dexcom. I personally wasn't a big fan, but now I'm seeing Dexcom is trying a new type of sensor that's kind of like a Libre.
Yep.
Yeah, because initially Libre is like every 14 days you take this off. I think this dies
Yep.
in like probably a day or something.
Hmm.
And Dexcom was you install a thing that has a thing inside of it, and the thing you install in your skin lasts 10 or something, and the
Hmm.
thing inside of it lasts like 30. So you have to take the thing out of it and then take the thing off your skin, put a new one on, and put the thing back
The
in it
thing back in. Yeah.
over and over again.
Yeah.
While the Dexcom has a new one they're working on that's literally just a Libre, which I think is cool. That's pretty solid
Yeah.
because Dexcom works with pumps.
I think what's
Like a
cool too, I'm maybe you've experienced this too in the last couple years of having type 1. There's been a lot of like new options come to
Mhm.
market, especially like with looping. So then you can avoid finger pricks and stuff, like with
Looping.
CGMs and yeah, so that you don't have to really everything can be on your phone. Um,
Oh
and
yes.
bolusing
Yeah.
and like having it all just talk to each other on a constant loop.
That's where Dexcom is strongest.
Yep.
Like Libre is still working on, to my knowledge, working on getting a pump that works with it because I think that Dexcom is the one that has like the glucose monitor talks to the pump and pump
Mm-hmm.
talks to the monitor and it knows what's going on, which is one of the reasons I want to try. Bless me,
Mm.
try Dexcom. But I've just been, I guess, like semester just started right as I learned Dexcom had a new monitor, so it's just been a mess. I'm like
Oh my
putting
gosh,
together
yeah.
a Jenga
Yeah.
tower as it falls apart and it's made of sand. It's a mess.
That's a great
But
I've never heard that. That was a great way to put it. Um,
I've worked on that little like
yeah.
colorful language. I actually it's funny. I love as a streamer, which I'm not a streamer as much anymore. I mainly do YouTube, but when I do stream, one of the big things I love doing is teaching my community about these types of things. Not
Yeah.
even just because I want them to be knowledgeable of diabetes, period, but because I want people to be knowledgeable about just anything. I love
Right.
learning things. That's why I started making YouTube videos talking about current events and news, just
Yeah.
'cause I love learning things. And so I love the idea that with my platform, I can also teach people about things that they wouldn't have known otherwise.
Do you
And since
find
I've done,
that people knew a lot about what you were talking about, or they didn't know, or where does it fall
shockingly,
somewhere in
no.
between?
I've gotten a lot of comments on various videos where like if I mention I have diabetes in a YouTube video, people will talk about how like I ate too much sugar, and I'm like, that's not how
There it
that
is.
works.
Yeah.
Like that's the most common, I guess, misinterpretation of diabetes because that's mostly type 2,
Type 2 or
which
even like type 2C or 3, like yeah, it's more
yeah,
lifestyle related. Yeah.
yeah.
And then you have to
That's why I say
explain, "Hey, no,
lifestyle.
it's actually like my pancreas doesn't do what it's supposed to. Like
Yeah, I say like
nothing's
my
working."
pancreas noped out on me early or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. Literally it's not working for me.
Mhm.
Um that is I'm not surprised by that. I think that's a common occurrence in kind of streaming gaming that we've seen that people just don't really know um about type 1 diabetes, what it is and how you have to manage it every day,
Of
every
course.
second of every day, which is totally understandable, but also why we're here. We
Mhm.
want to raise
That's
awareness about it.
if anything, that's the issue with just how people online are as a whole right now is just because people run into the issue of just not knowing better.
Right.
That's why literally I think at the core of 90% of arguments that happen online is people just not knowing better and not understanding the person on the other end has
Right.
a just a different thought process.
Right. Giving people grace. Do we just
Mhm.
solve all the world's issues in
I
one
think we
stream?
just solved Twitter.
We
I
went
think we
from Oreo to solving all of the issues on social media. I don't know. Look at that range. Look at that
I'll take my
range.
Nobel Peace Prize. It's okay. It's okay.
So I mean, you mentioned earlier, like you're busy with school, you're busy with all of these other things, content creation, school, managing your type 1. How do you balance it all? Like, do you find that you have certain times where you're struggling? Who do you rely on? Like, how does your day to day go for Saverino?
So, have you ever seen those people at carnivals that will balance a spinning plate on
Yes.
a like
So
a
you're that.
stick?
That's you?
That's how I feel, except the plate has a suitcase, like a bunch of school books, maybe a pile of rocks up there somewhere.
Like
There's just a
cartoon, like
lot going on.
stacked? Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like a Dr. Seuss book.
Yeah.
It's a lot to deal with, and I think the one thing that drives me is just my desire. It's like I am truly at my core my own boss. Like
Hmm.
I have family that is supportive of me. Like my mom isn't up there like you're wasting your time down there. She like my parents watch my videos.
They
They
see the
watch and
potential
give
and
input.
yeah, what you've done
Yeah.
with it. Yeah.
And I appreciate that's the one thing I appreciate more than anything is just that I do get support from my family and my friends. I get friends who will help me with video ideas. I've had friends edit videos for me on occasion if I ever am like on a time crunch. But I also have to, at my core, like wake myself up in the morning, have to get schoolwork done. I worked like I had like 4 hours of homework I had to do today.
Hmm.
And then I went to class. And then I came home and I researched for video topics, which I've been a little low on recently. I think it's been
Hmm.
4 days since I've uploaded, but then I was like, I got the podcast later, got to prepare for that. And of course, there are times where like there are holes in my armor. I'm slow to respond to DMs, which you've experienced before. I apologize to
Honestly,
that.
do not remember. But you no need to apologize. Life
I get you.
happens. Yeah.
I guess I make up for it by having that support system. Like I have a really good group of friends at the end of the day that I'm able to like go and hang out with. My girlfriend
Hmm.
Allison, I hang out with her. We hang out every night. or almost like just often. It's just nice to wind down at
Yeah.
the end of the day and like watch an X-Men movie or Dexter. I've been hooked on
Yeah.
those two recently.
Oh, nice, nice. Um, had, did anybody in your family know what type 1 was when you were diagnosed? Like, but I know you said you had like a distant relative or uncle or something that had it, but was it also type 1 and did they know?
He had type 1, but he wasn't someone I had talked to for years. Like I met up with him after my diagnosis, like a year or two after
Mm,
for a funeral.
yeah,
And so that was like how I got to start talking to him and I was like, "Oh, look, you also have the diabetes."
right.
And so my family didn't necessarily know a ton about it, but my dad, like me, is obsessed with learning things. So like after I was diagnosed, my dad was like reading like 15 articles a day just
Wow.
learning about diabetes, where it came from, what it is.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that because
Of
he's helped me a ton.
course. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so important. I think without having that kind of support system to help
Hmm.
you at no what at whatever age too, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
We actually had a meeting today. We have an advisory council at Breakthrough T1D
Hmm.
play. And it's basically a bunch of, game industry like veterans and people within kind of really creative spaces that have type 1 or have like a loved one with type 1. And one of them actually made an app, like a game to help educate people about what type 1 is. And
Hmm.
it was actually really cool. I feel like I need to like get you on like the dev testing list cuz it was really interesting cuz like especially coming from the perspective as somebody that was diagnosed like later in life as an adult, like what that would help you do. And it's like really like kind of like a game. Like it's one of those that you'd find in like the Apple store that's like I don't know, like Flappy Bird, like any of those
Yeah.
types of games. Like it's really truly like a game where you're leveling up, you're learning stuff, but also like playing it. And it's really easy to play with just like your thumb.
That's cool.
But I love that because you said that your dad was reading all these articles. And it's like, I think that's something that we do need to solve for in the type 1 diabetes space is like where people can get all the information that they need instead of just
Yeah.
like that take home sheet you get from your endo when you're diagnosed. Because there's so many more questions that inevitably family, friends, you as a type 1 diabetic are going to have. And you're just Googling it and where do you go for it? Like you're getting it from everywhere at all different angles. So I feel like that can be pretty overwhelming too, just like synthesizing all of the information.
Well, now you're inspiring me to like make a video talking about it, like
You
teach people about it
should.
myself. Because that's
You
something I've
never
always
know
wanted to.
who's
My
gonna come across it, right? And find your
Yeah.
information helpful or useful. I mean, always with the disclaimer of like, I'm not a medical professional. I'm just a type 1 diabetic. Here's what I know, you know?
Hmm. Yeah, and that is also, I mean, like I've been told before that my mom, one of the big things she pushed for me to do when I was younger was she wanted me to be a teacher. And that's just because
Oh,
I love
cool.
like,
Yeah.
as I said, just telling people about
Explaining,
stuff.
learning. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. It's just like articulating things in a way that
yeah.
people can understand. Because that's one of the big things I feel like a lot of people fall victim to online is
Mhm.
not when they go to explain something to someone, they don't necessarily know the topic well enough to make it
Sure.
make sense to someone who literally has no clue what they're talking about.
Right.
Like a
Right.
lot of people gatekeep information, if anything. They'll like use big words to explain something, and it's like,
The word
do you
doesn't
really
mean
even know what you're
anything.
talking
Yeah.
about? Yeah. Do you know what
Yeah.
you're saying? And
Yeah.
so yeah, I'd like to do something like that.
You
Maybe
should.
I'll even do a video about that.
You should. I think everybody should be sharing their experiences with type 1. I don't know how else we get the word out at this point.
Yeah.
And I'm just thinking about the dads like online searching and
Yeah.
searching more information for their kids and the moms and whatnot. Like they could stumble across you and find it really helpful. Something else that I love to kind of ask our guests with T1D because I think obviously everybody is at their different spot in their journey with type 1 diabetes. With everything that you know about it and having it, what gives you hope today? Like, what do you see that's giving you hope that there might be a cure in the future, that others might learn more about it? Like, what gives you hope?
Well, I think the one thing the one thing, oh, in and of itself that gives me hope is just because I am in love with it's been overused. The word's been overused online a bunch, but the indomitable human spirit. I think that people in and of themselves are problem solvers. Like all of us,
Yeah,
we want to solve things. We're going to have a cure for everything eventually. And once we have a cure for everything, something else will pop up and we'll think of a cure for that too.
right.
That's how we've always been. And so I like seeing people go out on these walks. I have my endocrinologist. He runs a bunch of like marathons that people run for
Nice.
T1D and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's so much. Oh, someone just Zach
Someone
just
just
followed my
followed.
Twitch, so
Yeah,
it
I
popped
see
up.
that.
But
Nice set.
yeah, just I think people's desire to cure and desire to fix and invent is it kind of leaves me with this whole feeling that like what could not happen, you know? It
Right.
has to go good eventually.
Oh, I love that perspective.
I think they've been theorizing the possibility of synthetic pancreases, which sounds
Yep.
scary once you think about it. Because like if it goes wrong, you have like a piece of plastic in your body that might not work. But I
Yeah.
hopefully we can get something that's really working eventually.
Right. So far, the probably one of the most promising things is the islet cells, stem cell transplantation.
Hmm.
Because we've seen people that do not have to take insulin anymore after they've been injected. I think we're up
Wow.
to last trial, human trial was it like 20 people? Um,
Mm.
the it's called the Vertex VX880. If you want to look into it, it's like probably the most promising. And the cool part about it is that not only is it, of course, it's helping people with type 1, but Breakthrough T1D found or funded the original researcher that came up with the idea.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yes, Doug Melton. So, definitely look into that because I think that is probably the most promising research that's happening so far that's been successful in human trial, and that continues to be
Exciting.
successful. Just, I think the next step is going to be cost and accessibility.
Yeah, that's always the next step when it comes to because
Yeah,
first you spend like
yeah,
$1 billion
billion
making
dollars.
something,
It
then you're like,
costs a
how can I
lot
make
of
it so
money
everyone can put it
to
in their pocket?
research these
Yeah.
drugs. It costs a lot of money.
Well, because you're starting from scratch. It's like a fresh Minecraft world,
Yeah,
except
a
with
fresh one.
someone's body
I
and a
love
missing
that.
pancreas.
Absolutely is. I love your what is that character in Minecraft again?
Oh, this little creeper.
Creeper, creeper.
So
God, I should
it's
know that.
really funny because people see this in the
It's
background, and
huge.
I'm going to clear up this misconception really quickly.
Is it not that big?
Um, so shockingly enough, while it looks like it's a 6 foot tall creeper,
It
it's
does.
actually like a 3.5 foot tall mini
It's just
fridge.
the angle.
Yeah, and everyone thinks it's absolutely massive, and I think that's
It does look
hilarious.
massive.
It
The
opens.
way I don't know the angle is it's like a perfectly placed. Oh, it's a fridge.
Yeah.
I see that Chick-fil-A.
Yeah, it's a mac and cheese. I actually forgot that was in there until I just opened it now. So,
Oh,
Chick-fil-A
nice.
reveal.
Nice. What is something that you as a type 1 diabetic have to deal with on a daily basis that others don't even have to consider?
Ooh. Hmm. I mean, of course, having diabetes would be the first thing that comes to mind, but I want to think of something a little more intricate than that. I guess if something comes to mind, someone's probably mentioned this before, but like just the waking up in the morning part, like when you get up in the morning and you're kind of the beginning of your day is defined by if you're starting it with you ate too much last night and your blood sugar's a little too high
Mhm.
and your long acting didn't help,
Or it woke
or
you
it
up in the
starts
middle
too
of the night.
low. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like I guess it's that start in the morning that like you really have to make sure that you everything is in check as you go to sleep the night before so you can have a smooth opening to your day.
What is one thing that makes your blood sugar go high no matter what?
Funny enough, stress. Kind of crazy. If I'm chilling out and it like if I eat something, I've noticed that my sugar goes higher no matter what it is if I am panicking, if
You're
I'm stressed
stressed.
out about something.
That makes
It
sense.
it, it causes I don't even know how it necessarily makes sense, but it like because there's
Stress
probably some sort of intricate
stress
yeah.
manifests itself in so many ways in people.
It
I'm not
does. And
surprised.
stress is, despite being a non-physical concept, is very physical in the way it affects you. So
Yeah.
it's kind of crazy how sometimes if I'm like not feeling good, my sugar just goes up and I'm like, stop it.
And it
But
just
yeah.
makes you more stressed.
Yeah, exactly.
Snowball effect.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if you have any perspective on this, but being relatively newly diagnosed and then having just all of these things come at you at once and then feel like you want to make a difference or like help other people, but also you're like just trying to stay alive. Like can't imagine the overwhelming feeling of that.
I personally I kind of so I guess it's just because I'm a special case that
Yeah.
I just kind of enjoy that attention. I
That's
enjoy that
great.
people would like come to me and
Yeah.
like can ask me questions. I've always wanted to be that transparent person that can like if you have a question,
I
tell
love
me, just
that.
ask me. It's always been a big focus because I mean I've always wanted people to just be comfortable.
Huh.
Like if anything, that's the one thing I'd want to leave for people. It's just like, hey, you can do it, whatever. Like I'm welcome to talk about the
I love
fact that I
that.
don't have a working pancreas.
Yeah.
Because then if someone is able to learn something from me, they won't be clueless the next time they meet someone who has diabetes, and they don't have to stress them out. Like
Oh, I love
it's a
that.
win-win.
Yeah. No, good for you. I also think too, there's so many people that are like, I don't want to have to educate everybody on what
Yeah, and
making
I'm
is.
on the other side of the
Yeah.
spectrum.
You're
I
like, I
want
will
to
tell
tell people
everybody.
everything.
So I need to
I
send
want to
those people
talk.
to you.
Yeah,
Yeah. There are
I have to
always two
make that
sides of
video
it.
so you
Yeah.
can link it to them.
You do. You need to
Yeah.
make this video. You need to be eating an Oreo in it.
Oh, of course. I got to think about how I'd frame it. That's the one
Yeah.
thing that's always a struggle when it comes to making those types of videos. This is a bit of
There's
a
a lot
random
of
side
ground to
tangent.
cover there. Yeah.
It is because I've over time because I've been doing them. So I did daily videos
Uh,
for 11 months. 11 months of daily videos. And then eventually I missed a day. But like
was that
even
like
after those 11 months,
330
I keep
videos?
yeah, basically around that. And then even after that, I only missed like probably 5 days in the next span of like another 4 or 5 months. And I kept making them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm still making them. And only recently have I decided to let myself take a few days off occasionally because it's like,
4 days.
that's
When
probably
you said
better.
you hadn't done it in 4 days, I was like, that doesn't seem like a long time at all. But I'm
See,
sure
that's
in the world of
crazy for
the
me.
internet ecosystem, it is a very long time.
And just for me personally, because like
Yeah.
in the internet, there are people who upload once a week, once every 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and they're fine. But as I said, I try to treat myself as my own boss. So like 4 days, that's one of the
You're
biggest
hustling.
non-planned breaks I've had in a long time. Because I want to hold myself to it because it's something I genuinely care about
Yeah.
is talking to people and building a community like that.
I love that. Ah, that's
It's
great.
cool.
Yeah, you're so committed and driven. What are your goals? Like what do you hope comes from all of this work?
So the crazy part is I went into this with a much different goal than how I am now. When I first started making content, my whole goal was like I was going through this phase where I was like, "Oh my God, I'm going to die one day. People are going to forget about me. I got to be remembered. I got to create a legacy." And so I started making videos and talking to a camera and doing stuff like that. That was my like way that my brain was like, "I'm going to create a legacy by being a content creator." And over time, I don't even know when this happened. It's just one day I realized like, oh wait, I don't really care about that anymore. Because I realized that I was like, I've gotten to a point where people watch me, and there are people who I've had so many conversations with people who I've either brought together or I've had conversations with
Mm,
people I would have never known otherwise. And it's like, oh my God, like I'm able to create my own little gigantic classroom. I get to have a giant
yeah.
group of people who all know who I am, and I know a good amount of them, and I'm able to interact with them. It's just it's so nice having that community aspect, which
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people don't always have with content creation now because it is. I mean, you realize you can monetize content. A lot of people want to just make money, and that makes
Right.
sense. Like I'd like to afford things too. Like sure, but at the same time, my main focus is just knowing people. I love knowing people.
It's your community. I love that. Do you think that that's helped prevent your burnout?
So I have definitely hit my burnout like 50 times. But the
Yeah.
thing is, every time that I hit it, instead of stopping, I want to focus on changing something about my environment or something about the thing that I'm
Mm.
doing. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, I was streaming for a while, I was burnt out, I
Yeah.
changed my schedule, and then I changed my schedule again, and
Yeah.
then changed it again. And eventually I was like, okay, let's make videos now. And now I'm doing videos,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't uploaded in 4 days, and I've kind of been reluctant to record. So now I'm thinking about bringing streaming back, but mixing in videos. So, like, it is all
Just
about,
changing it up each time.
yeah, changing your environment.
That
Because,
takes
like,
a lot of energy and effort.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's something I care about a bunch,
Yeah,
but
clearly.
it's
Yeah.
fun. It's still fun.
It I don't I've always said like streamers and, gamers and they're some of the most like hardworking people I have experienced, especially the ones that like, they're keeping their schedule, they're continuing to post like you do, like they're just constant, constant, constant. Because it can be pretty unforgiving, and like you mentioned, you're your own boss, so it's not like there are
Yes.
safety nets in place or people like saying, "Oh, you're doing a great job." You're like the way you're knowing if you're doing a job is like a lot of times based on numbers, and not really that qualitative experience. So
Yeah.
that's got to be difficult to keep pushing through.
That is it that's always been a very divisive topic online is how hard it is to stream. There
Yeah.
have been content creators who've come
People think
forward
it's so
like
easy. Yeah.
streaming is there's people who say it's easy and there's
Yeah.
also people who say like streaming's harder than a
So
9 to
hard.
5.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's somewhere in that middle ground
It's
where it's
whatever it
like you
is to
can't really
you. Yeah,
compare.
you can't.
Exactly.
Every job is
You
different.
can't compare
Yeah.
it cuz you can go to a 9 to 5 and love your job and you'll
Mhm.
never work a day in your life. And at the
Mhm.
same time, you could stream and it might never pay off. It might,
It'll
but
feel like work.
it isn't even a job. It's almost like a wish that you are the fairy. You
Mhm.
have to do all of the magic
Yep.
for. And so it's kind of most of the fight there is your own.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point. I love
Yeah,
it.
also, I will bring this up as a funny little thing. There's no question that really regards this, but so I don't use a pump. I use
Yes.
a like a little just like a pen. I keep it in a
Depends.
little
Yep.
baggie with my like needles. They're all like packaged and
Look at
everything
that
individually.
bag. Look at that.
And it has taken a beating. This is like
I need to
I
get you a
like
case, sir.
I probably should. It's just that the bag is so convenient to like
It's
wrap up and I
small,
put it in my
yeah.
pocket.
Yeah.
But funny thing for my long acting, I started with a pen and then I moved back, not back because I never used one in the first place. I moved to the vial, like the thing where you have like a little bottle and you take like a little
Oh. Yeah. Out of the
syringe.
yeah.
I don't know why, but doing that because the long acting you're not really on the move with it, so you
Right.
can have more of a like a jank set. And so I kind of like that more just because if I'm sitting at home I get to like measure
Yeah.
it and it's I guess the stimulation of using like a little syringe is
Sure.
cool.
I could see that being very
Yeah.
interesting if you're because just the way talking to you, like you really like to see how things work, like have the visual of it and understand all the
Hmm.
pieces of it. I could see that being fun. Okay, so I know we don't have much time left, but I do like to ask a question to all of my guests. If there is one thing you could say to your 22-year-old or 2 years ago self, just diagnosed with T1D, you're 20, what would you tell yourself back then, knowing what you know now?
Is not as serious as you think it is going to be. Like I thought that my world was over. I was like, oh, that's it. Guess I'll die. But the more I learned about it, I was like, I like there's so many ways to work with it. You meet new people because I mean, like it's kind of easy to get into an exclusive club when all of you have broken pancreases. Like you
Right?
can't exactly get excluded from that. But yeah, I think that is the main thing. Is just it isn't that serious. And maybe make the video earlier about diabetes. Get it done sooner.
What? That's what I'm saying. No, I love that answer. Because a lot of people have said, when it first happens, it is very much like your life is changing
Hmm.
completely. And I think I've had also different ends of the spectrum of like people wishing that they had gotten diagnosed when they were younger and they don't have any memory of not having type 1. And then others being like, no, I actually am fine with having the memory of not having type 1 because I've had some time where I didn't have to deal with it.
Yeah.
So, of course, it's everyone's perspective is different, but ultimately, there are a lot of tools and things that you can use to manage it and do it well and still live a very full life. It's not like you said, a death sentence. So
I,
sad. I'm just picturing
I,
sad being like, I'm done.
well, that's what I said. When I was first diagnosed, I literally did not speak for like a few hours.
Yeah.
I was shocked
Oh.
because I didn't know how to really process it. But over time, like, and right now, I'm doing fine with diabetes. Like,
Hmm.
I'm handling it. Everything else in life, since I'm handling with like some of the
Everything else
hardest
is on the
classes I've ever
plates.
done and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, that's on the plates that are balancing on the
Hmm.
stick on my nose. But like I'm handling diabetes well. It hasn't been like it's not at all a problem, which
Hmm.
like there are other problems that are worse than that. So it's nice to have something that I don't have to like look at and be like, oh God, I have to deal with this too. But I am glad that I didn't get it earlier. I'm very happy that I got the first 20 years of my life without diabetes because I got to do all the intramural sports without the
Yeah.
complications of having to get the right amount of sugar beforehand and stuff like that.
That's a
And
good point.
I think I was able to get a lot of experiences that I probably like if there was diabetes on there, it would be that extra little weight as a kid that I would be like, ah, that's stupid. But I'm an adult now. So I have that like maturity to handle it. So like
I like that.
I think I nailed it with the timing to get
Heck yeah,
diabetes.
you nailed it. Seriously, Severino, Evan, this has been so. I don't know why I did it like comma, like Severino, comma, Evan. You've been a great,
I'll take it.
great guest
Both
for
names.
T1D Tuesday, sponsored by Abbott. We really appreciate you being a part of this community and just your positivity around having type 1.
I appreciate that I was invited here. First of all, thank you for having me
Absolutely.
on. This is my first like I've done other podcasts before, but this is my first one with like an organization, like people who like have something set up. I like did
Yeah.
one with like smaller creators in the past, but this is like cool. I'm very glad that I was able to do this.
Yay.